governor of the state, Governor Caleb Mutwang, speak to these issues yesterday, and you could hear the sadness in his voice, the sorrow in his voice. These were people killed, not just men, but women and children killed. Some women had their children strapped to their back and they were killed. Houses burned, millions of naira wasted there. It's a sad one.
By who? To what end?
Well, according to reports,
these are the questions that will be answered. To what end? Some Fulani militias, but then we just hope we'll come to a day where we don't have to talk about this anymore. These are innocent lives wasted in their scores, and we just hope the right thing, appropriate things are done to ensure the security of lives and property, because that is the most paramount responsibility of the government. Of any serious government across the world. Very sadly, really, to say, when many persons are cooking, whining, having people around in their homes to celebrate, some marauders, some criminals went and wreaked havoc. They wreaked this havoc on these people. That's an incident of having a mother with a child strapped to the back, killed. To what end? That's the question. What do you stand to gain? Who are these people? These are the questions we'll be asking for decades, for a decade at least. What is the gain? What is the end game? This is not an out-and-out war, by the way, on a day. Plateau, our prayers and thoughts are with you, really, at this time. We hope people in charge will rise up and go beyond rhetoric of saying we are going to investigate, we will get to the root of the matter, and it goes on and on and on. Even far away, I think it was in Bethlehem yesterday, there was an attack as well, in Israel. And by the way, according to record of the Bible, Jesus was born in Bethlehem. The particular place was attacked as well. Can we just be peaceful in this world? It is, just like a popular, I think was one of these Bible or novel character or a film, live and let's live. And you just live and I'll live as well. Of course, there'll be challenges, there'll be back and forth, there will be disagreement, but does it really have to do with taking of lives? Especially here in Nigeria. Beyond Plateau, let's just by the way, before we go to the papers, is something that gladdens the heart, but maybe not in a very exciting manner. To say people of Tudumbiri yesterday at Igabi local government that suffered that horrendous mistake from the Nigerian army drone attack on that village. You remember that, they had to just have a way of making themselves happy. We learned Christians and Muslims yesterday in Tudumbiri. They went to a church, all of them, every person, to just show that, you know what, we have survived this, we are alive, it's not about tribe, this is not about religion. We learned, and there are pictures and videos to show that all of them in that village, they went to a church to celebrate the Christmas together. Which
is not actually a bad thing. I mean, that is the essence of life, that is the essence of humanity, the fact that we can be different in our own ways and still agree. I usually tell people that if Femi is like me to make and I'm like the other person, and we all have the same values, the same ideology, it's going to be a boring earth. But then when we have our differences in whether values, whether religion and tribe, that is what makes the world a better place. I mean, salad is sweet because of the different condiments in it. So just take it as the earth is salad, and what the cabbage can do, the carrot will do. What the carrot will do, the cucumber will do. So that is how
it's all about having a good meal.
Yeah, that is how the earth is really. So see the difference in another person as beautiful. So far it doesn't hurt you. Just see it as beautiful, and we can live together in peace and harmony.
That's right, peace and harmony. And at that juncture, by the way, once again, happy Boxing Day, Merry Christmas and area to the entire team as well. People has to do with us. Others were those that are on duty yesterday, you could see their faces, by the way, because why some person that I know not too far away was balling in town. Some of these guys, some of us rather, were at work in different parts of the country trying to do the Lord's work. But then
as they say, this life no balance. But then we move. We'll go to the headlines right now. We'll be back. Please stay with us. All right, many things to really talk about. Looking at the headlines about the way, and the story of the killing in Plateau is almost on all the tellies as well, and the issues in Rivers is not it's not looking like it's going away anytime soon. Different persons saying different things at different times. And these are some of the things we are following. We'll be talking about the development in Rivers as it stands, by the way. So the governor has come out to say, you know what, there is no price too high or too hard to pay to have a peaceful society, talking about the good people of the treasure base of the nation, talking about Rivers State. No price that's too hard to pay. And then it was quoted, especially in media outlet, that this thing is not as bad as you people paint it. There's one of those things, and he's ready to give it a push. We interrogate and speak to that shortly, but that will be after the headlines. And then we heard as well that Professor Wole Soyinka, has been in the paper since yesterday, and he said he advised the president not to run, the now president, incumbent President Bola Tinubu. He shouldn't run, for reasons best known to him, but that the president is a stubborn, quote unquote, stubborn person, and he went ahead to run, and he's now the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Professor Wole Soyinka, for who he is, a Nobel laureate, by the way. He speaks his mind. He doesn't care whose thought is God, whenever issues of public, discussion is concerned, and he is speaking on some of these issues as well. The budget is there, and today is December 26th, Evelyn, and, the National Assembly members, the Joint Assembly, the Red Chamber, the Green Chamber, they have promised you and I, and our people as well, that the budget is going to be ready by 30th, and today is 26th. Miracle, not the tired Jesus.
Well, we still got 4 more days to go, and in those 4 days, anything can happen. And
there is a recess. Okay, maybe they will back.
They will. I think they will, because the Senate President has always said that they want the January to December cycle. They do not. Yeah. They really want to expedite the actions to ensure that the 2024 appropriation bill is signed. So whatever it is they want to do, so far the work done is thorough. And
that's the issue here. They are able Most of them are still at their homes. They will travel today, start the work tomorrow. How thorough? We know what is going on.
Well, we've had some committees come in for their defense.
How
and all
thorough
of
are
that.
those committees?
Well,
some of those things we have been hearing. Some of those things we have been seeing. By the way, we're talking about something that will be signed into law by the president. That is the pathway as far as the finance is concerned in a country. Except in the next 4 months, somebody will carry a supplementary budget and say, appropriation bill, and say, sorry, we didn't know that this thing will be like this. Can you please append signature?
Tell me, but do you know how many states already had their budget signed into law?
Those
and we did not even focus on whether the work done there were
budgets being signed at the state. Sometimes you just have to just
exactly. So we didn't even look at whether they were thorough or not.
Really?
So
how thorough? The chief executive in a particular state that we know, a former governor said, all of them who contest another particular party, I brought the form for them. So what are you talking about? Will those people look at him in the eye and say, Mr. Governor, we have to remove this while he was there?
And I think the people should actually pay attention to the state appropriation bills that have become, some of them have now become appropriation acts. They have been signed into law. I'm a strong advocate for grassroots governance. And I believe if any change will come into the country to be through the grassroots. So if we pay so much attention to the national budget, I feel we should also pay the same, even more attention to the state's budget. We've had the budget of Kaduna, Abia, and some other states signed into law already. So
there was a budget signed in Rivers State as well.
Well, according to the resolution, the peace pact brokered by President Bola Tinubu, it said that the governor will have to represent the budget, represent the budget to the state assembly. You understand? So, with what we are hearing from Governor Siminalayi Fubara'S, it says he's committed to doing that. So we are looking forward to him representing the state budget. About the constitutionality of that, there are some lawyers that have also said that Fubara'S presenting the 2024 appropriation bill to a four-man House of Assembly is also unconstitutional according to them. So
something cannot stand on nothing.
Exactly.
Okay, that's right.
That's what it is.
All right, we move straight to the papers right now. And sadly, just like we said earlier, we start with the Daily Trust. That very, very saddening headline. 145 killed. A very black Christmas there. 145 killed as bandits attack 23 plateau villages. 145 killed as bandits attack 23 plateau villages. And, riders and residents seek international community's help. Governor Muftuang urges vigilance. By who, from who, to who? Take ownership of security, defense chief tells Nigerians. How does this sound? Especially at this time. All right. And you have the picture there of a carcass of our car. And then, some men at that plateau attacks, doing something with his sound, maybe a mass barrier, kind of, very saddening. And then the CDS, the defense chief rather, is telling Nigerians to please take ownership of security. That's on page 4 of the Daily Trust. Moving on, Kwakwanso holds special prayer in Kano ahead of Supreme Court judgment. Divine intervention, fingers crossed. Israel kills over 100 at Gaza refugee camp on Christmas Eve. Why? Who? To what end? That is on page 30. This is one word that is turning to many persons crazy and bizarre. All right. And Kuka to Tinubu, you have no excuses. God won't forgive you if you fail. He said that in his homily in Sokoto yesterday in his Christmas message that I sent, Father Kuka, for who he is, saying you pray to God, you wanted to be president, and now you are president, you have no excuse. And God will forgive the words of Father Kuka if the president fails. We hope he doesn't. Federal workers observe Christmas without December salary. Really? Not to even talk about the wage awards. Riders, we are not in charge of payment. That's the head of service. That's the HOS. You might want to say head of station, by the way. But now, we're talking about the head of service. And it's being worked on, Accountant General. Really? Number 26. Official blames technical hitches. Here we go. Blame for something that we saw coming. Top strip, implementation of Tinubu's resolution, not at detriment of my freedom, Fubara'S. Get to look into that further. Flight delays, cancellations worsen as NCAA pleads with passengers. How Naira scarcity, devaluation, inflation, others dominated economy in 2023. What a year, 2023. That will be all from the front page of the Daily Trust.
All right, we move to the Punch newspaper for this morning. And on the front page of the Punch newspaper, 13 states plan fresh 2.3 trillion naira borrowing. States loans to hit 4.73 trillion naira. Abia, Niger to raise debt profile by over 200%. States engaged in reckless borrowing despite owing salaries. This coming from the NLC. And Christmas, Army Chief visits Sokoto, hails gallant soldiers battling insecurity. The bottom corner of the front page of the Punch newspaper for today. Naira weakens to 1,200 per dollar at parallel market. The details of that is on page 24. And it's a Black Christmas for some family in Edo State as suspected cultists kill Edo broadcaster on Christmas Eve. A sad one there. 11 killed in Oshun, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway crashes. You can get details on pages 4 and 6. This is the festive season. This is a Yuletide, so I'll just say, let us be careful on the roads. It's better, you know, the normal saying, it's better to be late than to be the late. So please try as much as possible to adhere strictly to traffic regulations so that you can be safe and alive for your families. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, Rivers, PDP fumes as Fubara'S defends Tinubu over peace deal. Over 50 killed, soldiers injured in multiple plateau attacks. CBN investigator summons Lemo, others over Union Bank deal. And that will be all for the Punch newspaper.
All right, that will be all for the Punch newspaper. Many things to really look into here as Naira weakens at 1,233 per dollar at parallel market. Part away, we still keep hearing parallel market. Evelyn, we learned the Naira to dollar. The market is supposed to be a flouted one. There's the flouting, you know, collapsing of what is called the official and the parallel or the black market, or you call it. But it appears we still have two different rates, and this is not really helping matters at all. And 11 killed in Oshun, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway crashes. Due to what? Most of the times, reckless kind of driving and bad roads. And, you know, there is a way people tag whatever happens at this time to the time of the year. You know, superstitions, spiritual beliefs, which is fair enough, by the way. But then most of these things, you need, you know, I was on a trip yesterday, it was the afternoon, and you could see the way some guys were moving. Purely just call it moving mad. You know, it was like a race. Who does race on a Nigerian road, by the way? These guys with bikes.
They do in Abuja.
Okay.
Because in Abuja, they kind of have good
and
roads.
maybe there are places in where they do. By the way, you're talking about Abuja with fantastic road networks, by the way, in a kind of way. And maybe there are places they do that. And for most of the people who do that, they do it as a sport, as a game, as a recreation, if you can actually call that a recreation, by the way. But you see these guys on their bikes, like 4 or 5 of them, you could easily deduce that they were in a kind of who rides
better,
the
faster.
fastest. Yeah, better. Let me use that one. Better, you know. And then there was this Toyota Camry that was at their back giving them a chase. And you are wondering, these are people, you know, the rider is there having 2 people at his back, 5 of them. And then there is the B car pursuing them as well. And you're wondering, what exactly is wrong with people? One tumble for one, then you see the other 4 following suit, and lives will be lost. And we read it in papers like this, and people will be attributing it to their, you know, people in their family or village people doing this thing. Some of the things we do to ourselves, and you know, apart from that, you see drivers wanting to go as many trips as possible, especially at this time, because they see it as an avenue to make quick cash.
Yeah, the urgency is there at this time. And talking about the superstitious belief of people, that a lot of bad things are associated, especially accidents associated with the end of the year. I mean, it's just because the roads are busier. A lot of people have this urgency to get to their destination on time. We have the commercial drivers wanting to double or even triple their profits by the number of trips they are able to take. So it's just, I believe it's just common sense that, you know, there are a lot of people on the road. And you know what they say, the Federal Road Safety Corps officials say where they are giving out tips on how you can drive on the road. They tell you that the other person at the end of the wheel, the other rider, the other driver rather, just consider that person as a mad person. Like you are the only
like
sane.
A move mad.
You are the only sane person on the road. So if you have that conviction or that mindset that I'm the only sane person on this road of mad people, do you understand? You're going to drive better. You're going to drive more carefully. So, but a lot of people just put that aside and they want to get to their destination on time. They want to double or triple their profits. And we have more vehicles on the road. We have more people on the road. So I think this actually causes more of those crashes. People do not even care about traffic regulations anymore. They don't even, some of them don't even give a thought about that anymore.
How religious we are. You see people say, it's God that protects. Whatever you do, whatever will happen, will happen. What is meant to be, will be.
With
that kind of mindset to say, no matter what you do, what will happen, will happen. Yeah.
A lot of lives have been lost by sheer carelessness and mistakes, just a little mistake rather, on the part of some people.
Yeah.
Just you not stopping when you should, you not moving when you should. Wrong decision, that is it. So it's not a matter of, we always like to put blames on God or the devil. It's not my fault. It's either
spiritual
God
manipulation
or
somewhere.
The devil. No, sometimes it's just common sense. You let the common sense out of the door and you make that mistake and you reap the consequences. I'm also a strong advocate of actions and consequences, cause and effect.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, if I, pick up the pen and I, release it, it goes on the table. Yeah. That is the
naturally
effect of me just letting it go at the time. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's a spiritual effect that the pen dropped out of my hand. I let it go.
Yeah.
So it's just common sense. But
what they say sometimes, maybe that common sense is not as common as you think again, because you can imagine somebody approaching a bump, the speed limit, and the person is still putting pressure on the accelerator. And then the person gets there, you hear the sound and the inconvenience on the passengers, and you hear some of those commercial drivers, we should run a series on those people. They are a kind of special breed on their own. Okay, fantastic ones. This is not casting aspersion on the unions, whatever union they belong, by the way. But some of them, even they themselves, they know in the manner in which they speak. There was a time I was a commercial vehicle. And we're just only telling the person, can we go? Everybody has paid. And the person is saying, how much did you pay? They are telling us to leave. And then you look at the person, let me say to Yoruba, then you come on. The dialect doesn't really sound sweet with me. But the thing was very condescending, more like, how much have you paid that you are telling everybody to move? And then you look at them, because of who some of them are, you don't want to speak on that matter because they will drag you by your tie and whatever you owe dear to you. And you can't speak in the language in which they do, especially with this kind of work that we do. There are some things you just have to swallow. When you have to speak up. But when you know that they are ready to do the offer fight, you just have to calm down. And then the decision taking, you are pushing a bend and you are still accelerating. That's madness, actually. And they don't care. And these are the people who come with the village, how do they say it now? The village people thing, having to mess them up, or, we can do better. We don't know what has happened in this particular case, but then it seems some of these things are with us. We should make good decisions, by the way. We'll go on a short break right now, and then we will be back with the rest of the program. It's Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, the Boxing Day edition. Don't go nowhere.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Eva is pounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist. to the globally arising happenings, to the sports news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission, even diffusion, vast and fast, detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
Here in South Africa, there is still a healthy population of lions contributing to tourism and creating thousands of jobs. Sadly, in Nigeria, we have less than 50 lions left in the wild. Imagine if we could help their numbers recover and we become a wildlife tourist destination. So let's protect our lions because poaching steals from us all.
According to the words of Michael Forbes, one who never asks questions either knows everything or nothing. Watch me as I ask the questions you think no one wants to answer. Even questions it appears no one has got the guts to ask. My name is Femi and I've got the gut. Let's ask the pertinent questions and watch as we get answers.
Turning up is the wild, wild west, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girls got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolate side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be shown on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
and your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
On this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
There's no other animal as courageous and majestic as the lion. But with only 50 lions left in Nigeria, they may soon just be a memory. When snares are used for bushmeat, we rob the lions of their food and risk maiming them for life. So please, say no to illegal bushmeat and help protect the lions. Keep them wild and keep us safe.
Can you imagine the feeling when you get your news as they break with facts and clarity? Our news are reported as it is.
In Africa, and all those who masterminded the way it happened will have to pay a price.
Enjoy Western programs
All right, the conversation starts right now, and it's about the latest development coming from Rivers State. For the past, in the past couple of weeks, it has been from one drama to the other, by the way, between the governor and the people that are loyal to him, and the erstwhile governor, the former governor of the state, now Minister of the FCT, Yeson Wike, and the guys that are loyal to him as well. The dynamics that involved the State House of Assembly and some of his members that moved from the PDP to the APC. Fast forward that the resolution brokered by the presidency and the 8-point, the highlight from that particular resolution, the withdrawal of court cases, the return of the guys, the ones that left for the PDP, left the PDP to the APC, the members of the assembly to be reinstated back. By the way, the government to keep on funding and should release funds meant for them. Many of those things that are done, the representation of the budget to the State House of Assembly, and the commissioners that resign their duties, almost 9 or 11 of them, to be reinstated back, to be presented to the House of Assembly for confirmation for them to continue their work. 8 points. But many persons were wondering, is these and the end to this imbroglio? Rivers State, the political big guns now, are they ready for peace? The governor spoke on that matter. Many persons have been saying that agreement was lopsided, by the way. Is this really in favor of the governor? Is the governor being handicapped in any form as the chief executive of the treasure base of the nation, talking about Rivers State? The elders have been speaking, some, political watchers and beacons have been speaking on the matter, but the governor spoke again at the New Year message to the people of Rivers State about the resolution and what he plans to do. Just take a look. We'll be back.
Let me also use this opportunity to express our profound gratitude to our dear President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency the President, Asuwaji Bola Tinubu, GCFR, for weathering into near-crisis situation that almost punctuated the prevailing peace in our dear state. Indeed, by this singular effort, our dear President has demonstrated that he loved Rivers State and cherished nothing short of a reign of perfect peace in our states with his presidential peace proclamation on the 18th of December 2023. Mr. President Peace Proclamation has naturally elicited mixed reaction from our people and across the country. As a principal participant in the entire saga, I have taken some time to study the terms therein and have come to the conclusion that the peace pact is not as bad as it might be portrayed by those genuinely opposed to it. It is certainly not a death sentence. It affords some way towards a lasting peace and stability in our dear states. Accordingly, I reaffirm my acceptance of the Presidential Peace Proclamation and my commitment to implementing both the spirit and the letter of the declaration in such a way and manner that will restore political stability to our dear state without compromising the collective interests of our people and our cherished and shared democratic value. Already, both parties have demonstrated some goodwill in the implementation process with the withdrawal of the purported impeachment notice on their part and the release of hitherto withheld allowances of the members of the State's House of Assembly by the government. I have said before, there is no price too much to pay for peace. And with the realization that the worst peace is better than the best war, we will strive to make peace with all segments and interest groups without surrendering our freedom or jeopardizing the interests and well-being of the good people of Rivers State, who graciously entrusted us with their cherished mandate. I assure you that we will.
All right, that was Governor Fubara'S message to the people of River State in that Christmas message to them, by the way. And looking into that, many persons, we have been having a similitude of that, hearing something similar, but he has made that statement categorical again yesterday. And many persons are saying, is he doing that from the position of strength? Does he trust these people that have been, more like, in some people's words, forced on him to work with him by that peace proclamation that he said, by the way? We are being joined right now by Honorable Bernard Odike. He is the special advisor on new media to Governor Fubara. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning.
Thank you. Happy Boxing Day to you.
Same to you.
Thank you. How is Port Harcourt today?
Port Harcourt is cool and calm.
All right. Good to know. And my colleague is here as well.
Good morning, Honorable Odike, and happy Boxing Day.
Good morning, Evelyn.
All right.
Same to you.
Yes. Let's get to the matter. I'm sure you've seen that tape. You're part of the government at this time, and Governor Fubara'S seeming commitment to the peace resolution that was made, and in what many have termed, really, Honorable Odike, to be a lopsided resolution. That's what some persons are calling it. Even for the supporters of the governor as well, and many neutral persons, albeit a proclamation now, and many persons are asking at this time, does the governor of the state, really, he has said his commitment, but many persons are saying, why will the governor, looking at that resolution, why will he agree to such things? People that resign from his government because of their obvious affiliation to the former governor. That is where the allegiance lies. The president in that proclamation has said they should be reinstated back. Many persons are saying, is that not like living and working with the enemy, political enemy? And the question is, what does former Governor Wike have on Governor Fubara that has made him to receive all these things, hook, line, and sinker?
Okay. Thank you. People will say, people usually say that the man who seem to take the side of weakness preserves even the life of the strong man. Peace, they say, is priceless. Like my governor said, no price is too much to pay for peace. The governor is committed to, first of all, he has been asking, what offense did he commit that would warrant, the impeachment attempts by the factional House of Assembly members who are now former House of Assembly members by virtue of their acts as declared or as positioned in the Constitution, though subject to litigation, because they are still laying claim that they have not vacated their seats, which is exactly why even in that big spat, the president came up with that point that they should be reinstated as part of the terms for peace in River State. Well, the governor, who is also elected by the people, if you also looked at his speech that yesterday, he did mention that he will carry out wider consultations. Are you with me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, that he will do wider consultations with the people of River State and will not do anything. I will even say we will strive to make peace with all segments and interest groups. That's on the clause 14. Without surrendering our freedom, not jeopardizing the interests and well-being of the good people of River State. who graciously entrusted us with their cherished mandate. So the governor is the office of the governor is a creation of the law, just as the office of the president, even that of the legislatures too. So it's a creation of the law, the constitution. So as much as the governor would, accept he is a peaceful person, he is somebody that does not like, problems. He's a peaceful person. But as much as he is working for peace, I think it will also be right that he's working for peace within the law. I don't know if you get me. Because it will also be wrong if the governor goes ahead because he wants peace and begins to go against the law. Remember, the power he holds is a kind of entrusted to him by the people.
Yeah.
Look at the scenario this way. What if he goes to do something that now, because if you see from what has been happening, you will notice that the people are with him. Like I said before, about 98% of Rivers people are standing with the governor. Just forget about what you see on social media or what you hear from dissidents. The governor today has about 98% of the support of Rivers people. Hence, even when he makes such commitment, you see people grumble, people get angry. But we'll tell them not to get angry. Let them just be patient. As I speak to you, a whole lot of Rivers people have gone to court, with different charges. Someone like one I saw by two members of the same constituency of the speaker, the SY speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Amegule. I went through that court action.
All right.
They had to define how one of them said he is part of PDP, he's been part of PDP, and that from 1999 that they have always loved PDP and have always worked and voted for PDP. That even last time when there was a professor who had been a vice chairman of the local government council in Ogabo, who even contested for that seat under APC, that they did not vote for him because of the love they have for the PDP and what they believe that even during the campaign, how Governor Wike came around, convinced them and told them that Governor Fubara'S will do well and all the rest. And based on that, they voted for Martin Amegule. And suddenly Martin Amegule, without coming to consult with them, first of all went with the gang up with his colleagues to want to impeach the governor. None of them sent them to go do that. And then not only that, he now defected from PDP to APC without also consulting them, as a people.
All right.
Now, based on that, they were going to court, and asked for many prayers. Part of they also sued in that their action. The governor is a defendant. The president is also, a defendant in that matter. INEC is a defendant. I think Martin Amegule too is also a defendant, and so on and so forth.
All right.
So, my dear, it's in the coming days. We'll see how all this plays out. For instance, if there is a lawsuit restraining the governor from carrying out any, no matter how well intentioned, the governor you don't expect the governor to go against the law. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
All right.
As for the governor, he's committed to the peace pact.
All right.
He wants to see peace in the state. But while doing that, as I speak to you, a whole lot of Rivers people who are not in any way related with the government feel pained by what's happening.
All right.
So there are a lot of lawsuits. And then in trying to implement the peace pact, assuming there is a restraining order from the courts, asking the governor not to, or it is not a question left for us, the public, to now answer. Should the governor go against the law because he wants to make peace, or what have you?
All right, Honorable, two questions in one, very quickly. Number one is the fact that the governor said he's committed to peace, by the way, and I've said that as well. But you are saying that doesn't mean that all this resolution, the governor is going to take it hook, line, and sinker, that he will only do that as far as the law permits him to do so. Is that what you are saying? That's number one. Number two is, in his word, using his word, the governor yesterday said the presidential proclamation. Well, I think it's a resolution. A resolution means there is a judge, sitting from this side, sitting from the other side. But it says a proclamation. That means it was the president who brought out those things without their input. Please kindly confirm or deny those two questions.
Yeah, there were people who also attended that so-called peace pact alongside with the governor. We've also had them, speak to the press to actually explain what happened. When you go for a peace pact, it's expected that the parties would talk. You understand? Would talk, and then it's based on what they say. From what they say, maybe resolutions could be reached, and then we can now say that yes, it's like give and take, situation. But in this case, like one of the participants said that as soon as the president came in, he made a statement, and then stopped halfway, and then handed over the documents, carrying the directives. Carrying the directives to Dr. Peter Ohiolei, the erstwhile governor of Rivers State, who was also part of that peace pact. I think the heading of that document reads directives for the resolution for the political impasse in Rivers State. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Directives for the resolution. So which means even that, if you go by the heading of that document, you find out that it was not just a resolution which said directives. They are directives. So if the governor called it proclamation, then it is. But as I said, the governor is a peace-loving person. He doesn't like rancor. He's a very peaceful person.
All right.
And we would want to govern Rivers State peacefully, for the interest of peace and stability. So on the issue of the first question you asked me, that you are quoting me, and you asked if you asked me to ascertain if that was what I said. I never said that the governor will not accept line, hook, and sinker. What I said is that the governor, from his own statement, has said that he's committed to the peace pact and is willing to, that no price is too much to pay for peace, that he's willing to, implement whatever directives there be. Okay, so but on my own, I now veered off to say that nevertheless, because I have seen court actions brought up by members of the public, some directly suing the governor, trying to restrain him from accepting such a peace pact. Now that the governor said he will, if you listen to the governor, he said he would consult widely. He will consult. You understand? For instance, if citizen A and citizen B, have brought up a court action, trying to get, with a restraining order for the governor to implement that peace pact. Are you understanding me?
Yes.
The governor wouldn't just go ahead to disobey the restraining order.
Okay.
Now, perhaps on my own, I'm not just trying to think that in that case, what would the governor do?
All right.
So if I am to also look at who he is, he may also want to, in the same spirit of consultation, and then trying to, achieve, total peace in the state with regards to this matter. He may as well reach out to those people to I don't know how he will do it, but like I said, in the coming days, we will see things unfold where they should be.
Okay, so
I'm with you.
Yeah. Two statements that actually struck me when the governor was making that broadcast. He said it is not a death sentence and it is not as bad as some people term it to be. And he also made another statement saying that the worst peace is better than the best war. The governor seemed like a very peaceful person who doesn't want chaos in his state. And he seemed to be the only person, maybe, that doesn't actually see anything wrong in the resolution and the peace pact brokered by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, in that broadcast, he thanked the president for wading in and intervening, trying to, bring peace to the state. Why is that so? What you seem to have, you kept on saying if it's within the ambit of the law. But to the governor, he doesn't see anything wrong in it. To him, he feels these are things that are doable. And he has said he is committed to ensuring that this 8-point resolution, is implemented. They are implemented. What's your take on that before I go to my next question?
Now, if I really understood what the governor said on the clause 12 of that broadcast yesterday on the Christmas day, the governor said, accordingly, I want to read him verbatim, accordingly, I reaffirm my acceptance of the presidential peace proclamation and my commitment to implementing both the spirit and letters of the declaration in such a way and manner that we restore political stability to our dear state without compromising the collective interest of our people and our cherished and shared democratic values. Are you with me?
Yes.
The governor is a democratically elected governor. He's not a monarch. Are you with me?
Yes, please.
The governor is a democratically elected governor. Now I am speaking as a citizen.
Okay.
I am not speaking now as I'm talking. I'm not talking for the governor, but I'm talking as a citizen. Did you get me?
Yes, please.
Now, like I said, I have seen court processes brought out by citizens. Yeah, as much as the governor is willing, and I tell you, he's sincerely committed to the peace pact. The governor he doesn't like rank. I want to tell you his nature, and that's why even in the face of this crisis, Rivers people are standing with him. And even when it comes up to, like the first time, it was the Commissioner for Information and Communication that came on to say, like, look, the governor is committed to this peace pact, and that indeed he signed. He signed. But people were like doubting the governor actually signed that document. And he said he did, and that the governor is committed. And he went on to say that going forward, that in some hours, going forward, that they will start implementing the items on that peace pact. As you also heard the governor say in that broadcast, he said he had already released the financial whatever entitlements or allowances due the so-called 25 or 27, as we call them, we have been calling them erstwhile members until maybe they are reinstated. That's part of the journey to, implementing the peace pact. He has just started. So let's see how it goes. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if governor, if he has received, maybe if he has been served any of those court processes, but assuming those court processes are brought, and then the legal, the legal people should be in a position to let him know the implication of what it is. So at that point, we will not know, like I said, in the coming days, we will see things unfold.
Okay, Honorable Ohiolei, is the governor weaponizing the support of the people? There are speculations that the governor is acting calm and peaceful, but is making use of the people to fight. In the sense that you just mentioned the court processes and the
who is using the people? Let me get you. You said who is using the people to fight?
Let me land on my thoughts. No,
I just want to understand what you said.
I'm going to expatiate that. There are speculations in some quarters that the governor is making use of the people. Is what I mean weaponizing, that is, he's using the people as his own weapon to fight in this whole saga, meaning he is behaving like he's been calm, he's been peaceful, but the people are the one fighting for him, and he is aware. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So you just mentioned some suit filed against the governor, against the president, that the directives on the resolutions are unlawful and unconstitutional. So if the governor gets a copy of those petitions, then he is going to stop wanting to implement this resolution. So at the end of the day, it will look like it's not, I was committed to doing this, I wanted to implement it, but the law says no, the people said no, so it's really not with me. Go talk to the people, go talk to the law. Is that what is happening here? Is the governor weaponizing the support of the people to fight, instead of him coming all out to say, because if he knew that these are unlawful, he could have not signed, he could have said, I won't sign this directive, I won't sign on this resolution, and he would not have come out on that broadcast, to say he is committed to implementing these unlawful resolutions.
Let me give you an example. The other day, within the past week, there was a solidarity gathering around the government house entrance by the people of Rivers State. We are led by, where you had the National Youth Council chairman or president, the Rivers State chapter of National Youth Council of Nigeria, Mr. Chijoke, where he made certain statements. And I can tell you that while that thing was, when the governor got wind of it, he asked them, when he got wind of what was happening, he directed that he stopped it. Because he never sent anybody. He was very furious with him. And I can tell you that even as we speak, what's his name? The Chijoke has also come back to the media to make apologies. If he had used maybe by youthful exuberance words that may have sounded insulting to the president. That has happened. As I said, the governor is not using anybody as a weapon for nothing. But what I am observed from my own point of view, from observation, the people, like I have seen some people make narratives that it is no longer about the governor or Wike, that all they are pushing for is for the reign of the rule of law. It is not about Fubara, it is not about Wike. That the mandate that Fubara is holding today was given to him by the people. And that, the position that the people are trying to take is to, make him understand that he is not a law to himself and that he cannot just do what he feels he wants to do, outside the position of the law. I'm just telling you the feelings I am getting. But if you ask me, my boss, the governor, is committed to whatever that peace path is. He said the spirit and nature of it. Yeah. Okay, but like I will put back to your question as a Nigerian, assuming these court processes are served the governor, what would you advise the governor to do?
I mean, you are a special advisor, so you should do the advising.
No. What I'm putting back to you as a citizen, assuming these processes are real and that the governor has been served. Yeah. Okay, what would you advise the governor to do in that instance, vis-a-vis his willingness to implement the peace pact and the position of the law? What would you advise the governor to do?
Honorable Adike, what you're saying at this point is that the governor has no input whatsoever in the movement by the people, against the former governor or against what the president.
Never.
So you're saying he has no input whatsoever?
The governor does not have, he is not. Left for the governor, he's going ahead to implement everything. He's going ahead to implement everything.
Honorable Adike, many persons will say he's the principal person in all of this. As a political figure, as the leader of the party, at least as far as convention is concerned, as the leader of the state, there is a way he can rein in on his supporters to say, guys, please stand down. I don't want any court case. This thing, I'm committed to it. He even said it's not as bad as we think, and it's not a death sentence. Couldn't he have told anybody in with insinuations that might want to say we are for governor, we are going to court, don't render him powerless, don't make him do this and do that, and say, I'm starting Fubara, everybody, stand down. We have seen many persons do it and say, don't go to court. Let me face my work. Honorable.
Well, as you rightly said, the governor already did what you're saying. You're suggesting he may be expected to do. In that broadcast, when he said that the proclamation or whatever it's called is not a death sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like pleading with the, it's part of it.
No,
it's like trying to, he was winning on the...
It wasn't categorical with that. Stand down is different from let's see how it goes.
No. See, like I said, the governor cannot force it on the people. He will still, that's what we call lobbying, lobbying, to lobby. You don't just go and force it on the people. If as we are, and if there are other 3 persons here, as we are sharing on this, as we're sharing our views now, what I am saying may be different from what the second person might be saying. I see what I'm talking. Some other person may come here and talk differently. Okay? Talk differently. So when you're dealing with the people, you should understand that it's a dynamic situation. That you're a governor does not mean that you are a lord over the people. You are a servant. A governor is a servant, and even Governor Fubara has demonstrated that he's a servant, that he is there to serve the people. So, like I said, I don't know, but let's see how it goes. I can't begin to vouch for what the people, would decide in all of this.
All right.
Just as the governor may not be able to vouch for what the people. Okay. Yes, please.
Okay. Are we still with you? Are you still with us, rather? Okay.
I'm with you.
All right. Many persons will say, court cases, people support on his side. If these things goes ahead, and with this kind of...
I'm on an interview on TV. I'll call you back.
All right. With these resolutions, by the way, one will say, what kind of a governor is a peaceful one? For somebody who is committed to peace and having the goodwill of the people to continue to give them the dividends of democracy, fair enough. One will say, what kind of a governor will he be if actually, Honorable Odike, the governor goes ahead to work with people that have left, the people that he never pursued, the people that left on their own, left the cabinet, many of them said on principal terms, on personal terms, they left, almost now 11 of them, to say we are not working with you again, and we know where their allegiance, lies. Now, these people in that proclamation are being told to be presented again to the House of Assembly, the same House of Assembly that a chunk of them are not with the governor, or in which they are being told to go back and work for the governor. Allegiance is very key. Politically speaking, is the leader of the state, at least for the next almost 4 years now. He has started his administration, but then a chunk of these people have shown where they belong. What kind of governor will he be working around political, enemies in which they are being forced to become his friends? Won't your principal be working on eggshells? How will this play out?
Well, like I did say some time ago, most of those commissioners, I think while they were in office, they were actually cordial with the governor. I don't think the governor they have any form of animosity and talk about personal relationship.
Maybe because somebody told them to do so.
I'm coming. Some of them, like I even made a veiled or maybe a kind of a part statement in that some of them really deep down in their hearts,
all right,
may not have wanted to do so, but just because maybe somehow, somewhere, because you can see how the resignation took place on the 14th of December. It's all, flooding in of resignation from almost all of them. So that would also suggest to you that it wasn't like something each of them did willingly.
But they made
it's like
choice.
Something.
Honorable, they made a choice. They showed where their allegiance is at the end of the day.
No, I'm coming. Now, you know, in politics, if you want to be a very successful politician and a public servant, you don't go sentimental. Are you understanding me?
Yeah.
You don't go sentimental, and that's the kind of person the governor is. If you watch his, his disposition, his demeanor, he's somebody that is not moved emotionally. He's not moved by sentiment. You know, he's composed. He's balanced. He has looked at it, and he has said that, look, after careful evaluation of it all, that he has seen that the Peace Pact is not a death sentence. He used that word. It's not a death sentence. So, whether they are brought back, one other thing I want to even say is, if I were in the shoes of those so-called SY commissioners who will, according to them, by quotes, because they say personal reasons. It's not like the governor sacked them, who turned in resignation letter and left. If I were part of them, no matter what anybody says, I will bow out. I won't come back. I will respect myself. I will dignify myself by not coming back. Because even coming back is a shame to them. It's a shame on them and not on the governor. The governor has nothing to lose. Nothing. Like the people, I have had people say, even some of these guys who are talking about the rule of law have said, okay, fine. Even assuming it comes to a point where the governor now implements this Peace Pact, that their eyes will be on those commissioners to see if they will not be obedient and then work in tandem with the policy drive of the governor.
All right,
that they will set their eyes on them. You know. So that's it.
All right, Honorable Odike, thank you so much for your time. Right, Honorable Bernard Odike is the special advisor on new media to Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State. Thank you so much for coming on board today.
Thank you, Honorable.
And thank you for your time. Happy Boxing Day, and we wish Rivers State the best.
Thank you so very much, Evelyn. I wish you the same and all the best.
Thank you.
During the season.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Look forward to a more prosperous and better 2024 by His special grace in Christ.
All right. Thank you so much.
Very much for having me.
Thank you. We'll take a break now, and we are going to continue the conversation. We will be joined later on the show by a lawyer, an activist, and a Pan-Africanist. Do not go anywhere. The conversation is still centered on the treasure base of the nation, Rivers State.
That's right.
According to the words of Michael Forbes, one who never asks questions either knows everything or nothing. Watch me as I ask the questions you think no one wants to answer. Even questions it appears no one has got the guts to ask. My name is Femi Adefila, and I've got the gut. Let's ask the pertinent questions and watch as we get answers.
COVID-19 is a global crisis. Businesses, cities, even countries were shut down by a disease traced to a wildlife market. We must never let it happen again. In captivity, wild animals are potential sources of disease. To protect our wildlife and our health, say no to illegal bushmeat and report wildlife crime. Keep them wild and keep us safe.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
and your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
On this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
The Berlin Conference of 1884 defined the configuration of Africa, which hitherto existed as a continent of multiple kingdoms and empires under native rulers. The conference, otherwise referred to as Congo Conference, regulated European colonization and trade in Africa as initiated by German leader Otto von Bismarck. The Berlin Conference is often called the scramble for and partitioning of Africa, as each of the imperial powers carved separate portions of the continent for themselves without recourse to racial and cultural identities and differences. 137 years after the Berlin Conference was held, Africa remains a legitimized playground for European nations that sought to exploit its wealth and resources and manipulate its human capital to promote trades and investments of Western powers. Western Spring Television identifies Berlin Conference as a major event in history.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Eva is pounding current events, traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sports news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission, even diffusion, vast and fast, detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
There's no other animal as courageous and majestic as the lion. But with only 50 lions left in Nigeria, they may soon just be a memory. When snares are used for bushmeat, we rob the lions of their food and risk maiming them for life. So please say no to illegal bushmeat and help protect the lions. Keep them wild and keep us safe.
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girl got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be shown on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
Can you imagine the feeling when you get your news as the break with facts and clarity? Our news are reported as it is.
In Africa, and all those who masterminded the way it happened
we have to pay a price.
All right, the conversation continues right now, and we are being joined by Barrister Chetam Nwala. All right, I think we're having some technical issues, and I want to believe this, but Barrister Nwala is a Pan-African. He is a lawyer and also an activist, and we've spoken to him a couple of times, on this matter, and with this recent development, we're going to have his view. Barrister Nwala, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Good morning. All right, thank you for having me once again.
Yes, thank you. We've spoken to you on this matter for quite some time now about this development in Rivers State. And yesterday, in Governor Fubara'S Christmas message to the people, he said he is committed. We are speaking about the resolution, the Peace Pact, 8 of them that was made last week, brokered by the presidency. He spoke to Rivers people, to you people, and said he's very committed to that Peace Pact. And he made some, statement. He said the resolutions are not as bad as people think it is. In fact, it is not a death sentence in his words. But many persons have been wondering, that resolution in many quarters looks lopsided in favor of the big man in Abuja, talking about Governor Wiki and his camp. Some of the resolutions, as you already know, says the commissioners who resigned should be represented to the House of Assembly for confirmation, for them to resume their work. The budgets should be represented. The House of Assembly fund that has been seized should be released. That one is fair, people will want to say. And that Austin Amaule will continue to be the recognized Speaker of the House. And we already know where Honorable Amaule, where he's tilting, not just tilting, where the allegiance lies. The House of Assembly members that left the PDP to the APC, where the allegiance lies. And all these persons are to be restored. So we are asking, and we just spoke to an assistant SSA to the governor to say, is this not lopsided? The governor is saying he is committed to this Peace Pact. And we are saying, in fact, I had to ask him, and let me start, is he not suggesting maybe there is something that former Governor Wiki has on Sir Fubara that is making him to accept all these things, and he's saying he's committed. It's you guys that are having issues. This is not as bad as we take it to be.
Okay, first of all, once again, good morning to Nigerians and good morning to everyone listening. It's important these issues are addressed and nipped on the bud as much as possible. We have spoken about this resolution, first of all, and how bad the resolution is and how the governor shouldn't implement the resolution. However, the governor himself is looking for a political solution to this resolution instead of looking at possible legal solution to these particular issues. Because during the last conversation I joined here, we talked about the legal implication of these resolutions and all that, and how legal it is to the extent we had that conversation. But I must say, on a personal note, personally, I am saddened by this reality on ground, because for some of us, we felt this whole movement is a liberation from the Wiki's hegemony and draconial leadership of Wiki, which we suffered in the last 8 years. Now, we felt this would be a liberation. But of course, for me, I am also of the opinion that the governor of Rivers State seemed to be chickening out and not having the energy as much as one would expect him to stand firm on behalf of Rivers people. Of course, some of us have shown him solidarity, support. Rivers people and Nigerians have shown him real solidarity and support. And this whole action of the governor is coming as a major blow to most Rivers people, I must tell you. It's because, let me tell you, the truth of the matter is that the court has given an order. There is a subsisting court order declaring Mr. A Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And now you're saying no, the president has advised you to take this particular step. And you're taking the step as against the decision of the courts as against the dignity of our democracy. Let me say this, implementation of the 8-point resolution, it's going to be a slap on our democracy as much as possible. I will say this anytime, any day, and I don't care whose house will be God at this point. Because the truth of the matter is this. The courts recognized Edison Ehie as Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. You went on the basis of the court's injunction, you went, presented budget before the Edison Ehie's led House of Assembly. Now, the president has come to say, oh, do this to resolve the crisis in Rivers State. Does the instruction of the president override everything that has happened in Rivers State? That would make the governor want to go back to represent budgets. This is going to be a slap on our democracy. It's going to be a disgrace on our, and we should not forget, the international community is watching what is happening in Nigeria. And that is why these people will never take us seriously. They will never take us serious. Because we can wake up today, take a particular decision, wake up tomorrow, we change that particular decision by a stroke of one-man decision, which is not supposed to be. If the court has recognized this year and you have gone to this year to present your budget before him, the budget becomes legitimate. And the president himself is supposed to understand this. Asking him to go back and represent that budget before the Matnameule faction, no. Then we are making mockery, a big mockery on our democracy. And it's not something that people like us will support. People like us will frown at this because we are not just making mockery on our democracy, we are making mockery of our judiciary. That is why people will not obey judicial orders again. You're making the judiciary weaker than it used to be, or that it is right now. It simply means that whatever the court has said holds no water. And it also shows, if it does that, it also shows instability in the character and personality of the governor. And I believe the governor does not want to be viewed in that particular light and direction. Because Rivers people has placed so much confidence in his person.
All right.
Rivers people place so much respect on him and have shown him serious solidarity. Look at the protest that happened last week Friday in Rivers State, and how much solidarity the people came out to show to the governor of Rivers State.
All right.
And today, you want to go back on it, and tomorrow when this whole issue degenerates again, you want the same Rivers people to stand beside you, it will be difficult to have the support of Rivers people. All
right, Barrister Chitam, you, just like we said, we've spoken to you a couple of times before now on this program. As far as this Rivers political drama is concerned, and you have been somebody who stood firm behind the governor, rallying support for him because you think he's doing the right thing by getting the Rivers people, using your words now, out of the grips of Minister Wike. But this morning, you seem to be disappointed in the turn of events, and are you withdrawing your support, or you see that something is going wrong? Then number two, it brings me back to my first question. What do you think Governor Wike, do you think, or let me say it like this, do you think Governor Wike, former Governor Wike, has something on Governor Fubara that will make Governor Fubara to accept all those resolutions? Is there something more than meets the eye?
Well, the truth of the matter is this. First of all, I must say this. I am standing with Rivers people. I am standing with justice. I am standing with uprightness. Anybody who does justice, anybody who supports the interests of Rivers people, I will stand by it. If we get tomorrow, support justice for Rivers State, support uprightness, support the interests of Rivers people, don't be shocked that I will stand by Wike. I am standing with the governor because the governor is doing what is right and what is in the best interest of Rivers State. Now, if the governor at any point in time decides to turn around and stop doing what is in the best interest of Rivers people, trust me, he will lose the support of some people like us. Because we expect him to stand by the truth, we expect him to stand by by righteousness, we expect him to stand for the upliftment of Rivers State. Now, as to whether Wike has something on the governor or not, I can't tell for a fact. But what I know that one of the things that may likely be the reasons while the governor is acting the way he's acting would be maybe a threat from the January 15th Supreme Court judgment. You see, let me say this to you. It is very bad and terrible how our judiciary has turned itself, in that people feel that they are in control of the judiciary, and a governor may be threatened using the judiciary. Will be threatened using the judiciary that if you do not do this, if you do not do that, we are going to use the Supreme Court to remove you as governor of the state.
Which Supreme Court?
It doesn't make any sense.
Which Supreme Court?
So most likely, the fears of the governor may be that because January 15th is Supreme Court judgment on the Rivers State Tribunal issue, he doesn't want to lose his seat. So he's doing everything possible to secure his seat and to remain as governor of Rivers State, which to an extent too is understandable. But it doesn't justify the fact that we make mockery of our democracy. We make mockery of Rivers people.
Yes, that's supposed to be the prerogative of Milos, the Supreme Court justices. It shouldn't be at the whims and caprices of anybody, isn't it?
That is how, in an ideal situation, that is how it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, I must tell you that we have a judiciary today controlled by politicians. Because politicians nominate these persons into becoming judges. Don't forget, in our judiciary today, let me conclude this point, please.
Are you not casting aspersion on the judiciary because you're a member of the bar yourself?
I'm a barman, no doubt. But I must tell you, those who actually know me very well know that I am one person who actually speak about the ills in our judiciary. Who actually speak about the ills in our judiciary. I don't care if tomorrow they wake up and say they want to debar me and all that. I am not interested. They can go ahead and do that. But the truth of the matter is this. The truth about how our judiciary is run must be spoken about. And some of us, if we don't step up to talk about it, nobody will talk about it.
All right.
Because, let me say this, a situation where the judiciary is constituted in such a way that wives of politicians are now judges, children of politicians are now justices, and they push this person, friends, cronies of politicians are pushed into the higher bench and all that. And you expect that justice will be done in matters that has the interest of these people at heart? It's not possible. Let's not deceive ourselves in this country.
All right.
I am not one man who will come on air and start deceiving myself. I don't care what happens to me after now. But the truth of the matter, the truth should be said. Let it be that in my lifetime, I looked at the truth and I spoke the truth as it is.
All right.
We all know how corrupt the judiciary is. And if nothing is done about the judiciary, people will resort to self-help. People will eventually resort to self-help. And I must say this, that the Nigerian judiciary today, as presently constituted, does not do justice.
Okay.
All right.
It does not do justice.
Barrister Wala. Okay. So on several occasions, one of such occasions, the Governor Siminalayi Fubara'S said that there is no price too high to pay for peace. And also yesterday he made another statement that the worst peace is better than the best war, in the sense that as bad as these resolutions might be, if it's for the peace of the state, I'm committed to it. It's better than for me not to adhere to these resolutions and have war in my state. And I'm sure the law also recognizes the alternate dispute resolution. ADR. Don't you think that is what is playing here? If the peace pact brokered by His Excellency President Bola Tinubu is a way to ensure that there is peace in Rivers State, instead of going with the law and bringing war upon the state?
What is the dispute in the Rivers State? That is the first question we should ask ourselves. You're talking about dispute in Rivers. What is the dispute in Rivers State? The dispute over the resources of the average Rivers man. That is what we're talking about here. That one man wants to still be in charge. A man is shouting, my structure, my structure. What is the structure? A structure is Rivers money. A structure is Rivers people. That is the resources we're talking. That is the dispute we're talking about, and that we should use alternative dispute resolution to settle with this man who wants to control all the resources of Rivers people. as a dictator by himself, that we should go and sit down with him and negotiate with him. Come on, what stops us from when we have the powers to take our resources away from his hands and control it to the benefit of the general, to the benefit of all, and for the general good of all? What stops us from doing that? Why do we have to? Why do we have to negotiate with him?
Governor Fubara'S said that the issue is about allocation.
The governor will not come and tell you that the issue is about allocation. Some of us, those of us who knows that these things are majorly monetary based and control. That the FCT minister wants to still be in charge and in control of Rivers State, which is part of the reasons why some of us are resisting what he's doing. Now, let me say this. The statement by the governor, oh, peace this, peace that, those are political statements. Those are political statements. In the hands of the governor, let us be honest with ourselves. If you give the governor an opportunity to make a decision for himself in the way he wants the things to actually go, do you think the governor will opt for this particular piece where there is nothing, there is no other thing on ground? The governor certainly will not opt for this particular piece. It's opting for the peace because the situation at hand is making it difficult for him. So let's be honest with ourselves when it comes to this particular issue.
All right.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yes, Barrister. Many have even questioned the involvement of the president on this matter, to say, especially his political interventions. It happened with Ondo State, now Rivers State. They have said that the spokesman to the president, Ngelale, said that destabilization of a particular region or state or subnational entity that could potentially turn into national conflagration, that the president will not watch and see those things happen. And he said if the president sees that, he's not going to sit by as the C of the armed forces and fold his hands and keep quiet. I think that is what he has done. He went for that to say, that is to say, if you are the CEC of the armed forces and your primary objective is to make sure that the country and the people are saved, they are able to operate in an environment that is stable and does not place them in any form of insecurity, then you know that if a political crisis is devolving into something that is generating man-made insecurity, then the president needs to step in, and he took that decision, the wise decision to step in. That's the reason the president has done this. And, to now connect it with the word used yesterday by the governor, he called it the presidential proclamation. Everyone was thinking it's a resolution, but Governor Fubara'S said it's a proclamation. Now that the president has said this is the reason, the spokesman said this is the reason why the government stepped in, how do you connect that to?
No, we have said this before now. From the last conversation, I also hinted and said that there was no conversation. That what they called the resolution. There was no meeting where they sat down, discussed on this thing, and agreed on this point. These things were forced down the throat of the governor to sign. These things were forced down the throat of the governor to sign, and the governor actually eventually signed. Now, this is the situation we have found ourselves. Unfortunately.
All right, we will have to reconnect, but time is really of essence right now, and we are thinking we could have the parting shot. All right, Mr. Nwala, you are going to land on your thought. Barrister Nwala, can you hear us? Can you please unmute your mic? Barrister Nwala, can you unmute your mic? All right. We can't hear you, Barrister Nwala. You might have to unmute your mic. Oh, okay. All right. Barrister Nwala, can you hear us? We can't hear you. All right. As we take it home at this point, looking at the involvement, Evelyn, of the president, Ngelale said, the father of the nation, the president, will not allow anything that might threaten the peace and stability of the nation, especially as far as politics is concerned. And they will not just fold his hands and look. And that's the reason for the intervention and that happened in Ondo and in Rivers.
Yes, and this resolution is not really going down well with elder statesmen in Rivers State. We had Pa Edwin Clark talk to this issue, and he said the president was not democratic in that resolution because it was lopsided, and everybody knew which side.
Hello, can you hear me?
Actually, yes, Barrister Nwala, you're back, and thank you for coming back. You were about to land on your thoughts there, and we'll just give you the opportunity to do so.
Okay, now let me state this: the president, there was no resolution, no meeting where they sat down, discussed, and agreed on those 8 things that were produced.
Yeah.
It was a document that was prepared before that particular meeting, handed to one of the participants in that meeting to read to the hearing of the governor and those who participated in that meeting. Those things were read to the governor, and the governor was made to sign. That is why when Ajurin Gilali talked about that the president is intervening, let me tell you, if care is not taken, the president is gradually turning himself into a dictator with the way he is handling this crisis across board. Now, let us ask ourselves this question: what is the extent to which the president's involvement is in this state crisis? What is the extent to which his involvement should be? We saw when he had the crisis in Lagos State and how Obasanjo wanted to intervene in the crisis in Lagos State, how he pushed Obasanjo aside, which actually made Obasanjo to stop the allocation of Lagos State for several years. Obasanjo stopped the allocation of Lagos State for several years, but he was able to run Lagos State with the IGR of Lagos State.
All right.
We are aware of these things. And these things, when we talk about it, we don't expect that the likes of the president of the country, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should turn himself into a dictator in any way. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is supposed to be a father, a political father to all.
All right.
But if he wants to turn himself into a dictator by imposing his will on each of the states, then he would have the resistance of the people of the states.
Barrister Nwala, let me just put in here because we are out of time. Let me put in here because we are out of time. You kept referring to the president as being a dictator on this River State issue, but we had a principal participant in this saga who is Governor Siminalayi Fubara, who appended a signature on that document. And in his broadcast yesterday, he said, and I am quoting him now, as a principal participant in the entire saga, I have taken some time to study the terms therein and have come to the conclusion that the Peace Pact is not as bad as it may be portrayed by those genuinely opposed to it. It is certainly not a death sentence. This is a man who had the choice not to append a signature when the points, the 8 points were read to him. He appended a signature, and we know that he didn't give a broadcast immediately after that Peace Pact on December 18. It took him, a week before he actually responded to it. And responding to it now, he said he has studied it and he has seen that it is not as bad as you, someone like you, Barrister Nwala, is opposing to that Peace Pact. Will you still refer to the president as being a dictator in this case?
Let me say this. Remember, the first word used for that particular piece of document was presidential proclamation.
Directives.
And we know where proclamations takes place. Proclamations does not take place in a democracy. We know the system of government where proclamations are made. You can't find a proclamation in a democracy. And let me say this to you too. Even if they said most of the things the governor would say, a drowning man would look for things to hold on to and a way to also survive, which is the situation the governor has also found himself politically. Now, and the governor is on his own trying to survive.
All right.
That is why he would make statements that will appeal to the conscience of these men. And let's not forget, these people in question are political juggernauts who have been in the game for so long.
All right.
And the governor is just new to the arena.
All right. All right. Thank you very much for your thoughts. Time is really of essence. And by the way, we just have to go. We wish, and this is at least as time will permit us, and we've spoken on this many times, that the people of River State should be the beneficiary of the dividends of democracy, because the state is beyond two entities, is beyond two people, is beyond Governor Wike, Governor Simenalai, Martin Amaule, Austin A, everybody. It's the treasure base of the nation. The people are the ones that are the most important in this, and we hope they really get the dividends of democracy that they deserve. Barrister Chita Mwala is a human rights activist, a Pan-Africanist, and a lawyer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and God bless you.
We appreciate it.
God bless you too.
Thank you. This is where we'll put the brakes today at this special edition of Morning Spree, which is the Boxing Day edition. Of course, just like we said, and we agreed earlier, Evelyn, the moment we are through with the set, is go to where my box is packed and do the needful as well. And please don't say anything on this matter other than to sign out and do the needful. Femi Ojo is my name. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back for the midweek edition, by the way. Merry Christmas in areas. Happy Boxing Day and Happy New Year in advance.
And of course, I am Evelyn Ohiolei. I would not say anything on the matter, but just end with the scripture. Blessed is the hand that giveth, then the hand that receiveth. Have for yourself a good day and be merry.
Thank you. Bye-bye.